Hi, this is Jeff from Airstream Nerds, and I am back to talk about my no more CPAP, no more nonsense, sleep apnea Inspire implant journey. It has been 6 weeks since we turned it on. When I get back, I'm going to tell you exactly what's been going on.
Airstream song, Airstream song, cruising to the campsite singing our song. Airstream song, Airstream song, we are the Airstream Nerds. Yeah!
Okay, in the first video, I was talking about this ring. The Sleep On is the name of the company, and this is just a little sensor. Let's see if I can throw it on the floor. It's a little sensor that sits in this little silicone thing, and it comes with 3 different size silicone sleeves. You pop it in the silicone sleeve like so, and I wear it just like this at night. You can feel it vibrate when it cuts on. If it was dark, there's a little red light, a real faint red light to let you know that it's working, and this will track my sleep. Now, I've been wearing this thing, like I said, since February, right before I had the surgery on the nose and the throat and everything. And the app that it syncs with on the phone tracks the numbers, and it keeps track of them. I don't know for how long, but it's been keeping track of my numbers since February. So the first month that I had it, just part of month, right after when I had that big surgery, my average for that month was 19, which I guess is pretty good considering my numbers had been so high. But then in March it was 20, then in April it was 36, then in May it was 30, in June it was 30. So we're back to normal right after the surgery. I don't know why the numbers were lower. February was only part of a month. It was like 2 weeks. In July it went down a little bit to 22, August 18, maybe the healing was done and it helped a little bit. So let's move forward to October when I had the surgery. That month it was average 17. And so that's way low, but that's still way high as far as what you really want. It's still a not restful sleep. It's still every day waking up miserable. All right. So on the morning of the 20th of November, it's when I had my first appointment with the Inspire doctor. An Inspire rep was there. I had no clue what to expect. I mean, at this point, I had read 1,000 pages of their manuals and guides because my full-time job, I work as a government contractor and I have a clearance. So I'm not allowed to bring wireless devices like smartwatches, phones, Bluetooth speakers, anything with Bluetooth or Wi-Fi or anything I can't bring in. Well, this is a wireless device. Did not think of it till about a week before surgery. And so they're asking me all kinds of questions, and I'm digging through all the information that's on the Inspire website. I found a directory where they have all their manuals. I mean, the manual shows you how to do the surgery and everything having to do with this thing. Like I said, there's like, I don't know, 15, 20 manuals of various sizes. So kind of going in, and I had this appointment, I was expecting, oh, and by the way, it is wireless, but we'll get to this later. This is the device that has Bluetooth and all that in it. This device is really it's about five centimeters basically of range on this thing. So it's not really, it doesn't have Bluetooth, it doesn't have Wi-Fi or anything like that. The device in your body doesn't, but the device that you keep at home does. So there was no problem getting a pass to get back into work and stuff like that. So I go into this appointment, and Jenny was on the camera. Jenny was there with me, and I sit in the chair, and they're looking for a plug. They plug this thing in. It looks like one of those QI charging pads, but it's like this rubber thing, and it's on a wire, and they just lay it over my shoulder, so it's just dangling right over top of where the place is. And then they have this iPad-looking thing that they're sitting on. Now, let you know, when I went through all this stuff and reading all these manuals, I thought this was like an eSTEM thing. Obviously, I had Googled Inspire, and I have read all kinds of reviews and people's comments and all that. And the comments, just like everything on the internet, is way more negative on the internet than there is positive on the internet. So you read a lot more instances of people that were miserable than people that thought this was the greatest thing. Not that there isn't people that said it was the greatest thing, but so I was a little stressed going into this, right? I didn't know what to expect. I felt like, based on reading all this stuff, that we were looking like an E-stem type thing, where I was going to get a shock, and that's what causes the thing to happen, right? So I go in this thing, and they set this up. She goes, okay, well, we're going to turn it on, and you may feel something. We're going to turn this up step by step until you tell us you feel something. I'm like, what am I supposed to feel? She says, you'll know. Okay. So I'm sitting there, and I'm just like, we're basically giggling because we don't know what to expect. And we're like, oh, don't feel nothing yet. Don't feel nothing yet. And they're like, okay, how about now? Nope. How about now? Nope. How about, yep, I felt that. and literally, I felt nothing. I felt nothing except like my muscle on my tongue pushed my tongue forward. There was no pinch. There was no shock. There was no nothing. It was just like all of a sudden my tongue just went,
like a little frog.
Yeah. So I'm going to show you what that looks like here in a bit. But but it's it was a shock, not really, but it was a shock that I was expecting to feel something like you know, when you get a shot, you feel a little pinch. When there's always cause and effect. I was expecting when they sent a pulse, I was going to feel something and my tongue was going to move. And that's where my whole thought process in my head was thinking, like, how could I possibly sleep at night if every time I breathe I get a little buzz, I get a little shock, I get a little pinch, I feel something, right? But in all honesty, you feel nothing. It's pretty awesome. So they get it set up, and it was at 1.3. That's 1.3 volts DC. That's what they're pulsing into the tongue. So the way that they basically want me to do this is the device, they set it at 1.3, and every week, Monday morning or Monday night going to bed, I turn it up one. So we have gone from 1.3 to this week we're at 1.8. It is literally 6 weeks. So we spent a week at each one, and I decided to make a calendar just so I could track using the results from the sleep on ring, just so I could get an idea in my head if this thing's really working. Because I can tell you after the first week that I was already feeling a little refreshed. And at this point, 6 weeks in, I'm like a new person. I wake up in the morning.
You're like yourself again.
I'm not a, like, example, leave the house. Someone says, have a good day. My previous response was, ugh, and I'd walk out. Now I'm like, hey, have a good day too. You know, you wake up and you wake up. I haven't done that in decades. I wake up now and I'm ready to go do my day, work, whatever, right? At the end of my day, in the middle of the afternoon, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, at my end of my normal work day, if I wasn't like physically doing something physical, if I was sitting at my desk doing emails or research or something, and it was quiet and nothing was going on, I would be dead. I would be like, I'd be having really hard time keeping my head up and staying awake. I never fell asleep at work, but I damn well got close. There's plenty of times I got up and walked down the hallway to go get a drink or whatever, just to take a lap in the building just to keep awake. Because, and it wasn't because I'm lazy and want to go to sleep or anything like that. It's just, when you're not getting any sleep at all, your body at some point has to do something. So it was terrible. So here we go. I kept a weekly report on these numbers. Well, actually, let's skip ahead. Let me show this. So you have this device in your chest. You've got this scar under your chin. You go for your appointment. Like I said, they adjusted it till we got to the 1.3. They give me this. I mean, it literally looks like they copied Microsoft's mouse or Logitech's mouse, because that's exactly the form factor this is. It is the size and the shape of a mouse. It's got a couple AA batteries in it. On the back, you have the scale. Now if I wake it up, yeah, there you go. It shows on the back what level you're at. So it started at 1.3 at the bottom and now we're at 1.8. You have a play pause button. You have an up and down button. This is for adjusting the levels on the back. And then you have the off button. So at night, one thing is I've learned over these 6 weeks is don't turn this thing on until you're actually ready to fall asleep. If you normally get into bed and you read or you play on your iPad, you play on your phone for 15-20 minutes till you get drowsy, don't turn it on before that, because then you end up having to pause it and start it again, and you do it a couple of times. Because when you first turn it on, so what we're going to do, you press the button, you hold it up to your chest, and this is what it does. It sends a pulse. So I couldn't talk because my tongue was busy getting pushed forward. And so let me turn it back off. So I hit the off button and do the same thing. And you don't feel anything when it turns off. But what it does is you have 20 minutes, or they adjust it when you set it up. We told them I'd fall asleep fast, so they set it for 20 minutes. I get up in the middle of the night, I hit this button, and no, I hit the green button again and hold it up to my chest in the middle of the night, and it pauses it. So it essentially gives me 10 minutes, because that's what they have the timer set at, 10 minutes to go to the bathroom and go and fall back to sleep. If it doesn't work, you hit the pause button again, and you repeat it until in that 10-minute span you're back asleep. So you kind of want to, I made the mistake of telling them we go to sleep fast, 20 minutes, or I take a break, 10 minutes. I think I'm going to have them change it when I go back. I have another appointment in a week or two. I'm going to have them change it to 30 minutes and 15 minutes. It doesn't matter if you fall asleep in 15 minutes or 20 minutes and it doesn't start 10 minutes after that. It doesn't wake you up. Trust me. I fall right to sleep and it doesn't wake me up. What I do notice though is, like in the morning when you kind of wake up, but you like kind of wake up and you don't want to get out of bed, wake up. You're like, oh, I woke up, it's 7:15 and my alarm doesn't go off to 7:45, so I'm just going to lay here, and rest for this till my alarm goes off. Well, if you do that and you're not asleep, you feel that as you breathe, your tongue's getting pushed, and you lay there and it's annoying as hell. So you'll either if you want to go back to sleep, or you'll turn the daggone thing off at 7:15 in the morning instead of going to normally 7:45. In my case, those are my hours. So it's been working amazingly well. So the very first week we did this. Now keep in mind, we essentially started tracking on the Tuesday in the first week. So I don't have a full 7 days average, but I did count the Sunday when I wasn't on it. I didn't turn it on Sunday night. Just Monday night is when we did it. So I had a 14 average for that week with a 27 on that Sunday. So the first couple of weeks it started here, it dropped down a little bit, like it went 10.9, then 3.9, 10.8, and then it went back up 11.7, 21.4. So it kind of did a curve like this during the week. So I thought first week was my body got used to that number and it wasn't strong enough, which is this phase is called the configuration phase, because they're basically trying to tweak and find the right number. Second week, I went through, started on a 16, then 7.527, 9.2, 16.4. So that second week I had a 12.88 average. So we went from a 14 to a 12.88. Third week, same thing. 1.6, which is probably the lowest number up until that I've been tracking. I don't know for sure. I didn't go back and check, but 1.6 is a pretty low number, and it was crazy to me. On that Monday before we lowered it, or raised it to 1.5 out of 4 points, I had 2 normal days in a row, which I don't think I ever had either. So at this point, this is the third week. This is when I really started feeling it, because I had a 4.8, a 1.6, a 6.3, and a 2.2 all in a row. So I had 4 days where I had good sleep. But then I had a sick dog. I had to sleep down in the living room, and I had a 22.4 on Friday, which kind of ruined the whole thing. But I still had an 8.9 average for that week, so it still was a pretty good week. And then the next week, I had an 8.84. Then I had, in that 8.84, I had one night with a 0.7. Not a 1 point, a 0.7, like less than 1. That by right now is my record, 0.7. Never seen that number before. So last week I had a 7.2. I felt like last week was my best week. If I started Sunday, I had a 6.5, 11.9, a 2.0, a 7.3, a 14.5, a 4.9, and a 3.3.
Christmas week.
For a 7.2. Nope, that was the week before.
Oh.
Christmas was this week. But I had a 7.2 overall. I had the one bad day, but I had heartburn that night too. So that might have attributed to, I also have GERD, and you know, it's mainly managed, but every once in a while I have a bad night. That might have been the reason why. We had gone out to eat that week because we had family in town, and we were going and eating all kinds of stuff that I probably shouldn't have been eating that late at night. And then this past week, we cranked it back up to 1.8. I don't feel like it's been as good. Actually, it went up to a 7.4 this week. I had an 8.8, a 6.8, a 12.9, a 9.7, and a 7.9. So still all around 10, which for my past history is an amazing score. But I think where it was at 1.7 was my best week. So I don't know what they're going to do because they didn't ask me to do this. I did it on my own. So like I said, I have an appointment coming up. They're going to go over the results that this thing sends. I'm not sure what other data this thing is capturing. When I pop it up in the app, it literally just shows how many hours I slept, and it shows how many, what time it was turned on, what time it was paused, if I had to hit a second time to turn it on or pause it again or whatever. It just shows that. So I don't know if it's capturing other data. I'll find that out. And I definitely do a third one of these after I go through all of that, because there's also a sleep study that they're going to want me, an in-store sleep study. Basically, I go to their facility to do the sleep study, not a take-home thing that I did here in my house. So maybe with this information that I'm going to give them, maybe they decide not to, but we're going to do it anyway. But I don't know. I mean, I think I got good numbers. I think I know what number I'd like to have, but I have no clue. I've never done this before, so I don't know what exactly they're going to ask me to do. I can say though, without any doubt, that this has been a life changer. The Inspire is it's crazy. It's crazy how it works, and it's crazy how well it has worked. Once again, this is Jeff.
And Jenny.
And we're the Airstream Nerds. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, put any comments below, and we'll see you on the next trip.